We see if tennis or volleyball can win a match.
Buffs football is in Morgantown looking for their second victory in a row over the Mountaineers. Highlights coming up next.
And we had a little tennis action at the CU Invitational.
And one CU athlete finally finds a home here in Boulder. CU Sports Mag coming up next.
Welcome to CU Sports Mag. I'm Russell Cunningham. That's David Starcer.
How's it going, Russ?
David, we had a little bit of football this week.
We did. Early game this week, Thursday night in West Virginia. Buffs looking to get back-to-back wins over the Mountaineers. Let's check out some of these highlights. CU in Morgantown, and here come the Buffaloes. First play from scrimmage, Cody Hawkins finds Scotty McKnight, and yes, Buff fans, that's a record. 28 consecutive games with a catch. Congrats to you, Scotty, on that one. First points of the game, though, going to West Virginia. Noel, he's simply divine. Breaking a tackle, and he's gone. He's just gone. 77 yards to the house. Mountaineers take an early 7-0 lead, but the Buffs would answer right back. Rodney Stewart showing some nice moves of his own, makes one guy miss, and whoop! Here he goes all the way to the pylon. He's in. That's a touchdown. It's 7-7 tie game. Now, here comes Eric Goodman. Missed one earlier from 40 yards. This one from 45 looks like it just might sneak. Clank. No good. This one is still tied.
Eric No Goodman, right?
Eric No Goodman, more like it. Now, here in the goal, second quarter action. Hawkins in the offense trying to get something going. Cody looking downfield, and Cody got to the guy in the right uniform. But, oh my God, he can't hold on to the ball. It's recovered by McKnight, and that was the fourth fumble of the first half by the Mountaineers. We learned later, CU did not take advantage of those turnovers. Here's Goodman again, and I guess third time is the charm. He makes this one from 39 yards out. 10-7 Buffs. We actually have the lead, Russ.
Win the ball game. Oh my God.
Oh my God, are we going to come out with the win on this one? Go into the locker room with the lead? No. Touchdown Mountaineers, they go in 14-10 on top at halftime.
So the Buffs still keeping it close second half. Bill Stewart probably gave a pretty good speech. Here you go, Jarrett Brad to our boy who missed that tackle. That was horrible. It's a 78-yard touchdown run.
Really?
Ugly. 21-10 for the Mountaineers. Now, Cody Hawkins, he's not necessarily going to want to give up. He's dropping back, scrambling. This is 4th and 7, by the way. Throws a bomb to Scotty McKnight. That's a touchdown. 21-17. You know, the Buffs are actually maybe in the game. And now, you know, when you make a good offensive play, you got to make a good defensive play. Here we go. Chappelle Brown coming off the edge, makes the sack on third down, forces a punt. There. You know, the Buffs are in this game right now in the third quarter. They're
21-17.
They have a chance, right? Yeah? No, not so much. Cody Hawkins dropping back, play action pass. Throwing it to the wrong jersey again. That's his third pick of the game.
Golden black, not golden blue.
That is just ugly. We cannot do that if CU wants to win. Coming up now, we had Ryan Clark into the end zone. Didn't look like he got in, but the referees ordered a touchdown. They're up bigger and bigger. West Virginia kind of sneaking away. This last highlight, Buff fans, if you're sensitive and you don't like to see Cody Hawkins getting hit hard,
oh God,
cover up.
No.
Oh God, that's not good. Buffs lose.
Cody.
Buff lose. Let's take a look at those highlights, or let's take a look at those stats, please. There we go. We see Rodney Stewart had a pretty good game, 101 yards, 1 touchdown. Cody Hawkins, 2 for 52. We can't have that many passes. 292 yards, but you got to remember, 3 picks.
And look at Devine's game, 22 carries for 220 yards. Big game for him. Big plays killed CU in this one.
And it didn't take long for receiver Scotty McKnight to break a record while at CU. Going for a school record of 29 straight games with a reception was broken on the first snap against West Virginia. You saw those highlights just recently. On Thursday night. Scotty McKnight, has been Cody Hawkins' favorite target for the last 3 seasons, and it is starting to show in the record books. Scotty McKnight was one of the only playmakers Thursday night in the loss, and he hauled in 9 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown.
Good game for Scotty in that
Very
one.
good game.
Well, a little bit of a bad note. 2 members of CU's football team got physical at a frat party in Boulder last Friday, and I'm not talking about dancing either. Sophomore quarterback Tyler Hansen has been cited for suspicion of physical harassment, and redshirt freshman safety Vince Ewing has been booked for suspicion of third-degree assault after Ewing allegedly took a swing at a security guard escorting him from the party. Now, Ewing has been suspended indefinitely from the team, but Hansen's punishment has been deemed a private team matter by CU spokesman Dave Platty. Both players will go through the campus judicial affairs process.
And now, we put some Big 12. We had some Big 12 games last week.
We did. A couple of good teams in the Big 12 in action this week. Let's take a look at them in action here.
All right, here we go. And the Missouri highlights. They're playing Nevada. Nevada outclassed a little bit, but they're not one to just give up, that's for sure. Here we go, and looks like we're having a few technical difficulties. Oh, here we go. All right, Mizzou versus Nevada. We had a little handoff action. That's a touchdown, Nevada. Nevada in this ball game.
Look at Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the game. Now, here's the thing. Quarterbacks for Missouri. Very good, Gibbs.
Very mobile.
He's moving around, throws up a bomb. You don't do this unless you're really good.
How do you let him catch that ball?
That's not... Okay, he made the catch. Missouri showing how good they are. Now, Nevada resigning to a little trickery. The end around. The quarterback looking for a block. Does he do it? No. Bam.
Oh, God.
Nevada would put it in, but this is the game breaker right here. We're going to see a little 75-yard pass and run, touchdown.
Look at him evading the pressure there.
Yeah, exactly. And there he goes. Touchdown. And that's the game. 31-21. Mizzou wins.
More Big 12 North, and I know Buff fans, we don't want to watch it, but it's Nebraska highlight time. They got throwback unis on against Louisiana Lafayette, and I think you see how this one's going to go. Zach Lee hitting Chris Brooks with a touchdown. They go up early 7-0. And here's some more Huskers highlights. Roy Helu Jr. romping it in from 2 yards out. Huskers up early. The Cajuns trying to come back, but nah, it's
They're
not
not
going to do
raging
it.
so much.
Wrong red and white jersey there, buddy. This guy here, Larry Asante picks it off, and he goes all the way 74 yards. 34-0 Nebraska at the half. And things are only going to get worse after that. This time it's the backup QB for the Huskers. Cody Green, shovel pass to Rex Burkhead. He makes a couple guys miss. Goes 24 yards into the end zone. 55-0 was the final, and Nebraska heads to Missouri this weekend.
Here we go. Texas Tech versus Houston. Houston looking to take down another Big 12 team. And, Byron Bratch is saying, no. I don't believe in that. That's his first touchdown. You're about to see a similar play. His second touchdown. He ran for 114 yards. Ridiculous. But, Casey Keenum and that offense from Houston, they're good. I think they're like an 82 in NCAA, so they're pretty good. He's going to go for a little jog.
Look at that running room.
I don't know. It depends what you like to call it. He gets inside the red zone, but doesn't quite score. Later in the fourth quarter, puts it into the house. Houston pulls it off. 28-9, 28. Houston wins. So Houston looking pretty big in those Big 12 games.
Second win in Big 12 play for Houston.
Yep. All right, moving on to a little bit of sadder notes. The Buffs lost an Admire alumnus this last Wednesday as former basketball and baseball star Ron Wrigley, died of oral cancer at the age of 55. Riggs, as he was known, played center for the CU basketball team from 1972 to 1975 under the direction of Coach Sox Walseth. Wrigley led the team in rebounds and averaged just over 11 points per game in his senior year. On the baseball diamond, he led her during the 1974 season after turning down the draft from the San Diego Padres. The Buffs will remember Riggs for his contributions to CU sporting history, and his legacy continues for the future CU athletes. And coming up later in the show, we're going to do a little bit of soccer highlights.
Sounds good. And we're also going to have double team for you guys, so stick around for that after the break.
Don't go anywhere.
Thanks. You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pass the honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I know I like to prevent fires. Anyway,
It's fire prevention
welcome.
week,
It
by
is,
the way,
yeah.
here at CU.
Welcome back to CU Sports Mag. We're going to toss it over to the double team desk for a little more analysts.
Yeah, they're going to talk a little bit about football action, that devastating loss to West Virginia. Guys, go ahead and take it away.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Double Team. I'm Heather Morba, sitting alongside Matthew Seelick, and today we're going to talk a little CU West Virginia.
That's right, and
you
it was
remember
actually the
that?
first time that Colorado
that?
made its way to Morgantown, West Virginia, to take on the Mountaineers. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Definitely, yeah.
And then we also had some CU alum actually go there, but not as fans.
That's right. They were there actually working for ESPN, so we were pretty well represented in terms of journalism school alum. We had Chris Fowler, who does the play-by-play for ESPN, Aaron Andrews, our sideline reporter, so that was pretty cool to see as well.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Unfortunately, we did lose, bringing our record to 1-3 for the season, with a final score of 35-24.
That's right. And I have to say, a theme for this game, not taking advantage of our opportunities on both offense and defense.
That couldn't be more true, especially with offense. We had 4 fumbles that when we recovered them, we just couldn't take them down the line and couldn't give those for a score.
That's right. We actually had some comments from our Facebook fan page, our CU Sports Mag fan page. Aaron Aiken says, positives to take away from the loss, the passing game is improved. O-line giving Cody protection, Beatty stepping in for Brad Jones. All nice comments. One thing I have to disagree with Mr. Aiken on is the O-line. I don't think the O-line did a very good job in this game.
I'd have to agree with you there. I think they just didn't give Cody that feeling of comfort that he needed to make those passes. He obviously didn't have that great of a night. What were his stats for the night?
You can see it in the stats. So he actually was picked off 3 times, and although he did go for almost 300 yards on the passing game, he only had a 50% completion rate. So when you're not hitting your receivers, you're overthrowing left and right. It really hurts. It hurts the offense.
And then when our quarterback isn't doing so well, our kicker wasn't doing that well either. So we're not putting that many points on the board. Last year was when Eric Goodman actually got his scholarship with the winning field goal through West Virginia. So he just didn't do too hot in this game and missed 3 of his field goals. So definitely wasn't up to par for that.
No, and we're actually going to switch gears, talk a little bit about defense. Out in the Twitterverse, we actually have CU Sports Mag Twitter, at CU Sports Mag. Boulder Scott, my thought is someone should teach them how to block or at least give it some effort and tackle. I have to agree with this comment, Matt. I don't think CU was blocking or tackling that well.
Yeah, I don't think we had any great tackles, and we definitely let West Virginia go down the field. And, if we made those blocks, we would have kept them to less yardage, and, they wouldn't have had those big opportunities for those huge plays that they had last night.
Yeah, that's so true. But, how much can you really do against a player like Noel Devine, West Virginia's star running back?
He's a beast.
He is a beast. He went for a career high in rushing yards that night, going for 220 yards. He ran literally all over the Buffs. He's just too quick. The Buffs couldn't tackle him, and when they tried, he broke our tackles. And he, in the first half alone, went 8 carries for 142 yards. So stats like that, it's just really hard to take down, those powerhouse players at this point in our, development as a team.
And on a good note, last 3 seconds of the game, Colorado made the touchdown, even though we were losing by more than 10 points, completely out of it. But I think it was great to kind of end on that good note and, give it our all.
Yes, that's right. And looking ahead, we're going to play Texas #2 in Austin, so we can see what the Buffs do against that. But one thing that we definitely need to mention, Scotty McKnight.
That's right. He did make a record last night before he was tying it, but now he's made the most consecutive game receptions with 28.
A new record for the Buffs, so we're pretty impressed with Scotty. And that's actually the 9th longest streak in the country at this point, so maybe another record to go for. So.
I definitely think it's great for him. He's always been that possession receiver, the go-to guy for Cody, so he's definitely one of our key players for the
Super
team.
consistent, yeah. So anyway, that's going to do it for that's all our time at Double Team, so we'll send it back to the desk.
Thanks, guys. CU women's soccer team was far from blown away by the Iowa State Cyclones last Sunday. In a matter of minutes, senior midfielder Kelly Menachov scored off an assist from freshman Aaron Bricker. The Buffs held on to the lead for the remainder of the game, maintaining a strong defense. Senior forward Nikki Marshall kept up the offensive intensity with 6 threatening shots on goal. The Buffs came off the field with a 1-0 victory, improving the record to 6-5 overall. The team now prepares to play 3 Big 12 contenders in the next 2 weeks. They say that defense wins championships. If that adage is true, then the soccer team is well on their way to success. CU shut out both of their Big 12 opponents this past weekend, and goalie Carol Linder was right in the middle of those efforts, recording 6 saves. That's why she is this week's Athlete of the Week. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties, guys. We'll come back to Athlete of the Week here in a little bit.
Okay. And it looks like we're going to try to move on to CU Volleyball. And CU Volleyball took on the... Here we go. So, sorry about that. CU Volleyball took on Oklahoma in the past match last Saturday against the Sooners. Let's go ahead and take a look at that video if we can do that. There it is. Trailing from behind for the majority of the set, CU lost momentum, providing Oklahoma with a straight set win. Senior Caitlin Burkhead had 21 assists, while sophomore Rosie Steinhaus led the Buffs with 9 kills. With that match, the Buffs have yet to win a single set in Big 12 play. Ouch. All right, here we go. Now, that was Oklahoma. And we're going to try to go ahead and move on to Kansas now. The Buffs went over to Lawrence, and they were looking to win their first set in conference play. And but the the Jayhawks played tough throughout. Steinhaus and Schroeder led the squad with 13 kills apiece, and Fogel added 15 digs for the Buffs to win their first game of the year. And yet, it wasn't quite enough. Unfortunately, the Buffs were not able to pull out the win, and they're going to play their next game this Saturday against Baylor. The game starts at 7 o'clock p.m.
Bump, set, spike. For Saturday's matchup versus Baylor, the Colorado volleyball team is going to host a free introductory clinic for kids starting at 5 p.m. Now, those attending the clinic will also receive free admission for the match versus the Bears that night at 7 p.m. Kids will have an opportunity to meet with Colorado players and the coaches on the Coors Events Center court. The clinic will teach kids new skills in an attempt to perfect their own volleyball technique. So that should be pretty.
Definitely, that should be a good thing. It's good. It's great to get the kids involved because the kids, they're going to be the CU
Future
players.
Buffs,
Yeah, exactly. You got to hit that up.
Next
All right,
Rosie
anyway.
Steinhaus right
So moving along.
Yeah, when we come back, we're going to turn the clock back to look at this week's trivia question.
And we're going to take a look at how a CU football player had a difficult upbringing, but has now found a home at the University of Colorado. More Sports Mag next.
Listen, I know you're upset, but it was just one date. And dating's like the stock market. There's ups and downs and ups. So always buy low.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
So, okay, here we go. Welcome back. The men's and women's cross-country team have won themselves into the national rankings with 300 points. The men's team is ranked 6th in the nation as they were first in the Rocky Mountain Regional. The women moved up to the 20th in the nation for the second consecutive week. Oregon's men and Washington's women are now top-ranked team in the country. CU will host the Rocky Mountain Showdown on October 3rd with the races starting at 9:15 a.m.
CU women's tennis opened the fall season with a determination to win. The Buffs won 4 out of 8 singles matches and 2 doubles matches on their first day of the CU Invitational. Camila Balassi finished her senior season off by defeating Valentina Starkova, that's kind of a kooky name there, of Arkansas in 2 of her first 3 matches. Seniors Monica Maluski and Melissa Esposito advanced to the quarterfinals with their first round victories as well. Now, Colorado hopes to continue their winning streak this Saturday as they host Air Force, Arkansas, Colorado State, and Louisiana Lafayette.
So sometimes some frenzies get overcome by minding Colorado football. So football is very important. Basically, not everyone at the school really know what's going on and who our other athletes are. So we turned to Man on the Street this week to see if CU students really know their CU athletics.
Hi, I'm Matt Meyer, reporting here with CU Sports Mag. We know that during football season, Buffs football definitely gets the limelight, but we're here to see how much CU students know about Colorado's other fall sports. All right, when you hear Colorado Buffaloes, what sport do you think of?
Football.
I definitely think of football first. I want to say volleyball.
Does Buffs football overshadow other fall sports?
Yeah, definitely. You can tell by when there's a football game, they basically close campus.
Who are the Buffs playing in football this weekend?
The Buffs are playing West Virginia. West Virginia.
What team did the Buffs soccer team play last Sunday?
Don't know. No idea.
What team did the Buffs volleyball team play last Saturday?
I know their first game was against USD. I can't tell you the last one.
I'm not sure.
Most attention.
I think it's just football, really.
Best of luck to the Buffs football team this weekend as they face off against the West Virginia Mountaineers. I'm Matt Meyer with CU Sports Mag.
Thanks, Matt. Now, can you call yourself a real Buff fan? See if you can pass this test with this week's trivia question. Now, what were CU's sports teams called before they were named the Buffaloes in 1934? That's a good one. Mull it over a little bit and stay tuned for the answer later in the show.
Yeah, that's an interesting trivia question because they could have been a lot of things.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
who knows?
Now, there's no doubt that every athlete at the school has had their share of fair share of struggles to get the opportunity to play here at CU. And one of which is, of course, defensive end Marcus Herod. Amanda Blackwell here at CU Sports Mag has more about his story.
All right, well, I got to talk to Marquez Herod, defensive end on the football team, about his amazing story. And let's take a look at it. Here it is right now. There are many who dream of playing on this field, but for Marquez Herod, the road to CU was more difficult than for most. Much of his youth was spent in foster homes and on and off the street. What led to you living in foster care?
Basically just, family situation with the stepdad we were kind of living with. He kind of did some things he shouldn't have, just, hit me and things like that. And my mom just kind of got sick of it and said, she'd rather be on the streets than live with him.
Is there anything you remember specifically, any specific memories you can come up with of your time growing up?
I just remember just always having all my stuff in 2 bags and ready to roll. Just always, I know that wherever I am, I can just pick up and leave if need be. So every time we settle down for about 5 seconds, it'd kind of be like, oh, time to get up and leave again, something's wrong. And my mom suffered from schizophrenia growing up, so she kind of was paranoid here and there, and I didn't know what that was at the time, so it was kind of like she made me paranoid for her.
What did it do to you growing up in a situation like that where you were almost the parental figure for your parent?
I mean, it made me grow up. It made me grow up quickly. It made me kind of recognize, when I got to high school and I met other kids that had been a lot more privileged than I was, it was kind of just like wake-up call. I was kind of just, hey, this is like, I had to grow up. I've been grown since I was 14 years old, so these guys are still kind of learning the ropes. It's like I've been taking care of myself forever now.
And did that make it difficult to relate to kids that were your age?
Yeah, at times, especially when that was back when iPod and cell phones were coming around. I didn't have any of that kind of stuff, and it was kind of like walking around and kids would just be talking about trivial things, just talking about I want to get a new computer or this gaming system, things like that. And it was just kind of like, man, I'm just worried about getting some top ramen to eat when I get home.
Football was one thing Marquez could relate to in high school, but he needed a little push to realize it.
Really, I didn't really like football too much. I actually was planning on running track. And about second week of camp in high school, I kind of just walked up there and was checking out the football practice, and one of the coaches is like, hey, come over here and come try playing ball. I'm like, no, not really, don't really feel like it. Left and went down and started running and whatever, practicing for track, and he came down there and talked to my coach. My coach made me go up there and see him.
Was it difficult establishing a football career when you had kind of an unstable environment at home?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I definitely was a lot of times, but it was kind of fun because I'd go to practice and it'd be like an escape. That's probably why I excelled so much at football, because when I got there, it was like nothing else matters right now. I'm balling.
Are there any specific people that you can think of that were there to help motivate you along besides your mom?
My coach did. My senior year, my coach kind of just took me under his wing. He saw I was having, a lot of problems at home and whatnot. And I really didn't talk to too many people about anything that was going on. Nobody really knew too much until one day my coach drops me off after practice and he sees there's a U-Haul sitting in the front yard. And he's kind of like, hey, what's that about? I'm like, I don't know, I guess we're moving. And he's like, you're done with this. We're not going to do this no more. And he's like, go grab your stuff. And like I said, I have my stuff in 2 bags. So I grabbed my bags and left.
What does it mean to you that you're here, that you're pursuing the goal of getting a degree, and that you're playing college in a Division I school?
I mean, it's amazing. It's one of the, as far as I know, I'm one of the first people or one of the only people in my family to go to college and get a degree. So it's very important. I kind of look at this as a stepping stone to the rest of my life and kind of a way to lead into having my children go to school and everything.
finally, what advice would you give to anyone that was in a similar situation as you and trying to go to college and deal with all of these pressures?
You know, just keep working hard and just ignore everything else, put everything else out, because, you know, when you're playing ball or when you're doing whatever it is that you're doing to make it, you got to just focus on that. You can't let anything else interfere with that.
Now, Marquez's high school coach introduced him to a couple who became his foster parents shortly after that day he saw the U-Haul in front of his house. They have been a family ever since. Guys, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Amanda. That's a really touching piece. And coming up next, stay around because we have the answer to the trivia question.
Also, we got this week's weather. Stick around.
Hi, how are you doing today?
What looks good?
Our special today is shrimp scampi. It's been sitting around for about a week.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
All right. Did you have enough time to figure out that trivia question? Well, here's the question just to refresh your memory. What were the CU teams called before they were named the Buffaloes in 1934? Give up? Any guesses?
I give up.
They were called the Silver and Gold. I think I made one. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're our school color.
Oh, that's what it is. You know, I think I like Buffaloes better. You know, why be running on the field? I couldn't see Silver and Gold running on the field.
He's a great mascot. Well, time to send over to weather with Kylie Burris. Kylie, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Now, we've had a pretty crazy week of weather going on here in Boulder, with temperatures hitting around the 70s during the day and then dipping down into the 30s at night, so leaving us with some beautiful frost to wake up to in the morning. But I have good news. It isn't winter just yet. After all, October has only just begun. So let's see what those national maps have to tell us. If you look over here, you can see that this cold front is going to come through Colorado, so making it a little bit colder, but that's what we have to expect for fall this time of year. We do have a high pressure system over Colorado as well, which means that it is going to be pretty clear this weekend, so no snowstorms or thunderstorms for this weekend, so that means you can get out there and have a lot of fun. As you can see for these temperatures, the rest of the country is blue, and then here we are looking purple. That means we're a little bit colder with temperatures around the 30s and 40s for this weekend. That's what's to be expected when you're in the Rocky Mountain region. After all, it does get a little bit chillier here. We knew that when we all moved over this way. So taking a look at Boulder for the weekend, as you can see, it's looking pretty nice. Friday and Saturday, not too bad, low 60s with those temperatures for the lows dipping down into the low 30s. So that's going to be a little bit chilly when that sun goes down, but don't worry because it's looking pretty sunny and just partly cloudy for the weekend. So get out there, go hiking, enjoy this weather while you still have it. You might need a light scarf or something, but other than that, I think you're going to be good to go out there and have a great time. Some of you may have noticed our strange wind behavior this week, and we had gusts reaching up to 55 miles per hour. Now, I just wanted to put it in perspective for you, because back in 1982, in January, so a few months away, there were 137 mile-an-hour winds doing $17 million worth of damage. So that's a bit different from what we've been experiencing, but just wanted to let you know what the records look like. Now, if you're planning on heading over to the Broncos game this weekend, it is at 4:15 at the Mile High Field. So head over there. Temperatures are looking good, around 65, and that is the day game. But remember, those temperatures are going to dip down. So if you're planning on heading out there, definitely go out there, wear your Broncos gear, and get ready to have a lot of fun.
Nice job on the weather, Kylie.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Broncos too, playing well.
Yeah, and Vesco Field at Mile High, I believe. But that's okay. The weather should be good, right?
The weather's going to be great. It's going to be a really good weekend. You better enjoy it before the snow starts to come.
Definitely. Well, good times. I think that's all the time we have for Sports Mag today. This is David Starcer, Kylie Burris, and I'm Russell Cunningham. We'll see you guys next week.
Go Rockies.
Go Buffs. All right, and where's that nice little Whee!
We're having fun.
So, good times.